question now is Arsenal, their injury list often as well. They have trouble. In fact, they don't have any recognized attacking player that is fit as at the moment at the time we're recording this video. So I don't know, who do you think is going to be more impacted with these injuries? Yes, Tottenham has more numbers injured, but Arsenal has some very key players. Odegaard, the captain, has not been available for a few months. Jokeres has joined the list. Kai Havertz had a setback over the weekend, and
Watch Strengths TV right now.
hey brother, EPL is back. How are you, bro?
Yes. After the long 2 weeks, very active, window. Yes, the EPL is back. As Nigerians, we got disappointing news. Nigeria couldn't qualify, but yeah, we regroup and look forward to the AFCON. But meanwhile, there's the big and small matter of the EPL resuming this weekend.
Yeah, personally, I usually use the international break to take some rest because of the abysmal state of Nigerian national team football for so many years now. But this time around, I was really invested in it, and I got the usual disappointment. They had a very good game the first game. Second game was very abysmal and disappointing, and eventually we're not going to the World Cup in the United States here. That's the story. Like you always say, what you put is what you get. If you put in the body of work, you reap the result.
Right.
And this time around, we used 3 coaches in this qualifier. Still couldn't make it. The first 5 or 7 games of this series were just a mess. Then eventually, by the time we we became serious, it was too late. Yeah, EPL is back. We're going to try to look at a few games for the weekend, and the key ones, especially, obviously, the biggest game of this weekend is going to be Arsenal playing on Sunday with against Tottenham at the Emirates Stadium. But the weekend starts with Chelsea traveling to Burnley. I don't feel like I said this weekend. The other top 4 teams, minus Sunderland, are going to play on Saturday. So Newcastle will be hosting Manchester City. Arsenal, Chelsea will be traveling to Burnley, and Liverpool as well will be playing at the Anfield against Nottingham Forest. After which Arsenal will be playing on Sunday against Tottenham, and the Leeds United will be hosting Aston Villa, which will conclude the weekend. So we're going to look at a couple of these games, starting with Chelsea. Burnley, for me, a tricky fixture for them, considering what Chelsea are doing. And again, they're going to be playing on Wednesday or Tuesday against Barcelona. The Champions League qualification to the next stage is still hanging in the balance. And Maresca, from what he has done this season so far, it looks like it's going to be a game he will try to rest players or rotate players for that game. I don't know how you see that one panning out.
Yeah. The reference to Barcelona game is very valid, and I think it will affect the lineup for this game. Maresca is not under pressure, but the results have been inconsistent. So even with rotation, I believe Chelsea have what it takes to beat Burnley. But again, like you mentioned, it's a tricky game. The EPL, after a break, it comes up with surprises, especially for the big teams. So
Yes.
the other teams have been training. They haven't had many people go for international assignments. So yeah, it could be a tricky one for Chelsea.
Sondage taking his army to Anfield, considering what Liverpool have been doing this season so far, inconsistent as well since after the 3rd or 4th game of the season. They went on that run of losing 4 straight EPL games, 1-1. Then the last time they lost against Manchester City. We are comprehensively outplayed. I don't know, how do you think Sean Dyche and his people are going to live with Liverpool? For me, Liverpool are going to have a problem in this game because we know Shonda's teams how they play. They're not going to play out from the back. And Liverpool have been trying to do this high press with 5, 6 players up front and leave gaps. So, and they've been struggling against teams that play long balls or that play directly. So I don't know. I expect Liverpool to win the game, actually, but I don't know what your thoughts are on this one.
You're correct again. Sean Dyche has had 2 weeks to work with these guys. Yeah, you can expect a solid structure and defense against Liverpool, right? And Liverpool, Verts played an incredible game for Germany. What I saw, the passes, he made at least 3 goals, clearly from his genius passes. So I think he's gotten his confidence quite a bit back based on the performance I saw for Germany. And so he's going to be a key player for Liverpool. But I will not be surprised if this game ends in a draw.
No, yeah, that won't be a surprise. For me, it wouldn't even be a bad result for Liverpool, considering what they have been doing. And again, you mentioned it, almost all their players would have gone away for international break. So most teams struggle after international break. And for the fact that Liverpool have even been struggling even worse off before this. So getting a draw, the only reason why that shouldn't be the topic is because it's at Anfield. But if you look at the form Liverpool have been so far this season, the last 5-6 weeks, getting a draw in that game will not be a surprise, should not be a surprise to anybody. And again, Nottingham Forest under Sean Dyche, the last 2 games, I think they've won the last 2 games. They've been doing pretty well, especially defensively. And going forward, we know what they give. And this is where Liverpool have a weakness. The next game will be Manchester City, another very big and interesting game as well. We're traveling to Newcastle, a team that have been a shadow of themselves, what they have been so in the last maybe four seasons since they take over. But in the last 12 months, they've been a little bit dodgy with the performances. My biggest criticism of them is that they don't really have an identity apart from the fact that they try to bully teams, and once you can match them physically, they begin to struggle to manufacture stuff. But again, playing at home is always a difficult place for any team to go. We know what City are on the rise right now, though a lot of it depend on Haaland, who you have named a freak. And for me, I don't even have the adjective or the word to describe that young man. So far, he has already beat his record of 50 goals in one calendar year. He scored 4 goals in the last international, making his tally 51 so far this season. And now they are projecting him to score 62 goals in this calendar season, which is just ridiculous. I don't even know how to qualify that. So yeah, looking at the strength of Manchester Newcastle defensively and in the midfield, do you think City can go out there and pick up 3 points?
And I think City are likely to pick up 3 points. Yes, they are likely to pick up 3 points, especially with the form Haaland is in. Newcastle are not in great form, but if there's anywhere that Newcastle have a chance, is at St. James Park. And I think they have a chance in this game. I'll call it for City, but I think Newcastle have a chance.
Okay, so yeah, for the rest of the Saturday fixtures, you have Bournemouth home to West Ham. A game I see most likely is going to be a draw. Brighton will be playing at home against Brentford. Brentford this season, they have been on fire, though I don't know how their form is away from home. Brighton themselves have been inconsistent as well. When they are on it, and they will just wipe you and take their 3 points and move on. So that one also might be a draw. That then Fulham, who have been in a very, very abysmal form this season, are home to Sunderland. I see Fulham struggling at that one as well. But again, then Wolves will be hosting Crystal Palace, a game I expect Crystal Palace to win as well. So those 4, I don't know if you have anyone you just want to highlight and talk about before we move on to Sunday Arsenal, the biggest of the weekend.
I think that Fulham Sunderland is a tricky one. I'll call it for Fulham. I call it for Fulham because Sunderland are on the rise, and with the result they've gone against Arsenal, I think they'll feel comfortable, but they will be sucker punched by Fulham. Fulham are a very strange team. On a good day, They will put you to the sword and they won't look back. But it depends to see how it will be and Chukwueze recovers from the work of disappointment. Let's see whether they can channel their energy into helping their clubs. That's the main game I want to highlight.
Yeah, then we move on to Sunday, the biggest game of the weekend from anyhow you want to look at it. From the derby perspective, of course, we know it's the biggest derby in London. Then you go to the table as well. Arsenal at top of the table, and Tottenham, I think they are third right now. No, is it fourth or fifth? Let me see. Right now, so anyhow you want to look at it, is a massive game. Then you go to form as well. Tottenham have been very, very impressive away from home. They've won 4 out of 5 of their away games, I believe. Though at home they have been worse off. So Arsenal, on the other hand, have been strong at home as well. Yeah, Tottenham is fifth on the log, 6 points, 8 points behind Arsenal. So it's going to be a very, very interesting one. The high point or the talking point of this fixture is injury. These two teams have the biggest injury list in the EPL so far. I think Tottenham have 10 injuries, while Arsenal has 8 or thereabout. And the problem now is that Tottenham has had these injuries for a long time. Though the newest to that list is Pepper Sarr, who picked up an injury in international. Nobody knows if he's going to be fit for the game or not. If he's not, he adds up to that list. While Arsenal also picked up a very important injury, which I'm going to ask you a few questions about. Gabriel is injured, and most likely they're not sure how long he's going to be away, but for sure it looks like he's going to miss this fixture. And how big can this miss be for this injury be for Arsenal? Gabriel is the second the defender in the division. The last 3 seasons has kept most clean sheet. He had 32, while Saliba has 35. And Arteta has used the least combination of centre halves. I think the last 3 seasons as well. I think he has used just 12 or 7 or something like that. Gabriel as well this season, not just defensively but attacking as well. He has created 7 big chances for Arsenal this season and scored I think 3 or 4 himself. So yeah, he's going to be a massive big miss for Arsenal. And the question now is, Arsenal, their injury list often as well, they have struggles. In fact, they don't have any recognized attacking player that is fit at the moment at the time we're recording this video. So I don't know, who do you think is going to be more impacted with these injuries? Yes, Tottenham has more numbers injured, but Arsenal have some very key players. Odegaard, the captain, has not been available for a few months. Gyökeres has joined the list. Kai Havertz had a setback over the weekend, and Gabriel Jesus is not fit yet to start. And Gabriel has joined them. Now, Calafiori as well is mentioned to have gotten injured over the international break as well. We don't know if he's going to be fit or not. So I don't know. Tottenham has a massive list of players injured as well. So how do you think this is going to work, and which team amongst these two do you think is going to be more impacted with the injuries, both the old ones and the latest?
So looking at it, I would say Tottenham will probably be more impacted, and the reason being that the squad isn't quite as equipped and expansive as Arsenal. So I want to be fair and say that yes, on paper Tottenham will be more impacted, but a lot of people have set the tone, talking about no excuses, talking about big squad and all that. Now, where you don't make excuses is where the big squad you have, they are available and they all contribute to your season. Yeah? In Sunderland, Arsenal would have beaten Sunderland if even just one player, Gyökeres, had played. Arsenal, I'm sure, would have won that game, right? They lost that game because at a point the attack couldn't keep up. Make the difference that they needed to make. So with 6 strikers, 6 forwards out, yeah, it is bound to affect the team. Now, as I was telling a friend earlier in the day, Arsenal's defense have held up and carried the burden so far this season. I think it's time, especially in these December months, heading to the winter, it's time for the attack to carry the team. And if these attackers are not there and their the defenders start getting injured, then it's a problem. I'm worried about this game mainly because Gabriel is such a key component offensively and defensively for Arsenal. If he's not there playing against Tottenham, it's a tricky game. It's as tough a game as you can get. Arsenal will get any season, anywhere, whether at home or at the stadium, the Tottenham Stadium. So it's going to be a difficult one. For this particular game, probably Arsenal have an edge based on current form and based on injuries. But that edge applies again, like I said, if some forwards are available to help the team win. If the forwards are not available and Gabriel has gotten injured as well, Gabriel is half forward, half for set pieces, half forward, and for defense, half the defender as well. So yeah, it's not a dried in the wool, cut and dry, prediction game. I think it's going to be a tough game, a close game, but I would like and I expect Arsenal to win.
Yeah, I kind of want to disagree with you. I kind of feel that Arsenal are going to be more important in this particular game based on injuries. The reason is because Tottenham have had their injuries for a long time, so they've been living with it. Most of those players have been injured for a long time, apart from Papisa that just joined this international break. Whereas Arsenal, on the other hand, just got Gabriel injured and Calafiori. Yes, they've had their long list of injuries, but they now have two important players in that defense. Like you said, the defense have been carrying the team for a while now. So losing these two key players, Gabriel has not made any mistake that has led to a goal since August 2023. So he's been the best defender in the division. He's been very, very effective. Then he, as I said earlier on, he has created 7 big chances for Arsenal this season and scored 4 himself. So he's not only good defensively, he also helps the team in the attacking wise, which is why you said the defense has been helping the team. Set piece FC, obviously, as you know. And again, he has also grown to become a very massive leader for Arsenal, a huge leader for Arsenal as well. The way he has been carrying himself, helping the team, you can see him commandeering the team most of the time when the push comes to show. So, having said that, I feel Arsenal is going to be a very tricky situation for them. Yes, everybody says they have depth, and in that department they do, but those are not Gabriel. But let's see how Ateta is going to, deal with this. And that tells me the next question I want to ask you: what combination do you think Ateta is going to use in that center half if Gabriel and Calafiori are not fit for this game? Or what do you think he should?
I think if Calafiori is fit, he will likely play Calafiori centre back. Though Calafiori hasn't played centre back actually, in that case I would think he would likely play Hinkapie. Hinkapie was brought in to really strengthen. He's a solid player. Over the window, he kept 2 clean sheets for Ecuador, and he's been made captain of the Ecuador national team. And so the guy is a born leader and a proper player. And I don't think Mikel Arteta will hesitate to give him the burden of replacing Gabriel while he's injured. So that's what I would expect him to do.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think Calafiori is injured. I think maybe he had a little knock and just decided to, because they said he had a hip injury, but he was training by himself. I don't know, if you're injured, you should be injured. Why would you be injured and still be training? So I probably felt that maybe there's an understanding between Arsenal and the Italian national team to just, don't, stress him. Maybe he had those sign of getting injured or was in the borderline. So most likely he might play this game. And like you said, he has played centre back before for Arsenal. I can't remember if it's this season or later part of last. There was a time he was started into that position for Arsenal. And let's not forget that Luis Kelly is there as well. So yeah, I also want to agree with you. I believe Hinkapie probably will be the one to get the nod to play in that role. But we have also seen Arteta play Mosquera and Saliba in that position before, though Tottenham is a different beast entirely. Yeah, and I can't remember if he worked out that. I think that was the day that he subbed one of them after first half. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing to see how Arteta is going to manage that situation. And obviously, Skelly is going to get some minutes in this game, either as a sub or as a starter. And let's not forget that Ben White is also coming to fitness. So he can play in that position as well. Though that will be for William Saliba. So it's going to be interesting to see what Ateta does. Interestingly for us now, Zubimendi didn't play the Turkey-Spain game, the second game that they played 2-2. He was rested for the whole 90 minutes. So it's going to be a little bit fresh for Arsenal coming to this one. The Clarias will be available as well. It's off front, like you mentioned earlier on, Merino looks like going to be the sure starter in the ninth position. And what's his name? Trossard scored as well for Belgium during the break. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. As now, if they are ready, if they are serious about winning the league this season, I don't think they have to find a way to get the 3 points tomorrow. And the more interesting thing about it too, as well, is that Chelsea and the Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester City are going to all play their games on Saturday. So before Sunday, Arsenal would have known this 4 points gap could be reduced to 1, could be reduced to could be 3 by the time Arsenal is playing that's against City, and Liverpool could have closed the gap by 3 points, and Chelsea could just be 2 or 3 points behind Arsenal as well before the game. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this pressure or to take advantage of the losses or draws of these teams, or try to open up the gap again after their games on Saturday. So I don't know, what will be your prediction? What do you think is going to happen? It's going to be a very massive weekend in the EPL. I don't know, as an Arsenal fan, how you see it panning out this weekend.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Were you asking for prediction for the Arsenal game?
How do you think this weekend? I mean, generally speaking, City are going to play on Saturday. Chelsea are going to play on Saturday. Liverpool will play on Saturday as well. So this 4 points gap probably will have been closed or will remain the same. Chelsea can close theirs down, or it remain the same, or Liverpool could close it down. So how do you think Arsenal is going to be? Do you think Arsenal is going to be able to handle whatever? If these teams don't win, that means Arsenal's advantage to open it up. If they win, then Arsenal has to win to also open back the gap between them and especially Manchester City.
Yeah, realistically, I expect Arsenal to still keep a 4 point gap, and that means that I expect City to win and I expect Arsenal to win.
Okay, viewers, that's our preview for this weekend fixtures. A very massive weekend in the EPL, considering if you're looking at it from the Arsenal perspective. If you're also a Man City fan out there, you also know that you need results both for you and elsewhere to close the gap and really get into the thick of this year's the title contention. And Chelsea as well, nobody has been mentioning them in the title charge, but if they can win this weekend and Arsenal and City fail to win, then Chelsea also gets really, really in the mix. So it's going to be interesting. We'll come back here on Sunday or Monday to look at these results and what the table is telling us at the end of the fixtures this weekend. So let us know what you think in the comment section. What will be your prediction for these games, these massive games this weekend, and how do you think the table is going to look come Monday next week? And we will see you again next time. Ciao. Ugu, my brother, thanks so much. It's always good to have this time with you and to enjoy talking about the EPL.